Hi, and thank you for watching Margie's Magical Adventures, where I document the fun things that are going on in my life. I drove all the way down with my best friend for 12 hours to Atlanta, Georgia to experience one of the last... Future me here. Since the recording of this, they have extended it to April 16th of 2023. And I'm really excited to see it. I've seen a couple other people's videos of what's here, and it's going to be leaving pretty soon to go over to Europe. So come along and check out what we can find here. This wristband is like a key to the interactivity within the experience. Right, so this is basically what we just did. We went to the kiosk and then we filled out our personal information. They kind of just ask you your name, your email address, if you want other info from other events that they're going to be having, and then you pick out your wand type, you pick out your Patronus and your house, and take a picture. And here is my end result of my house, my wand, and the phoenix that I picked. These things do pop up again throughout the experience. Hello!
Just a few things to note before you guys head up.
So we were just told anything that is in a glass case was an original prop from the movies itself, which is pretty dang cool. I don't know if the little thing over here says. Oh, so this is from the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And it was from his oldest son. There were also these large posters throughout the experience that had a ton of extra information from the movies, from the books, and from the plays that were all based on Harry Potter. So this is the vault. And then this is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The first edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, first North American edition, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, published in 1998.
Alright guys, while we're waiting for the videos to come up and ask you some trivia questions.
Sure.
Alright, so we're not at Hogwarts yet. We'll yell these out so you don't have to raise your hands, okay? What's the platform number?
9 3/4.
9 3/4 is correct. Who's Dobby?
He's a house elf.
He's a house elf.
For the Malfoys.
When Lucius freed Dobby, what did he give him?
A sock. A
A
sock.
sock. And where was the sock?
In the journal.
Tom Riddle's diary, that's correct. When the Mountain Troll entered Hogwarts, what holiday was it?
Halloween.
Oh, y'all are good.
Not to brag, but I did kind of nail it on the little quiz that they had. This was kind of a precursor to the video that they show, and after the video, you got to kind of walk through the experience as a self-guided tour.
He ate 2 flavors of jelly beans. What were they?
Earwax
Earwax was one,
and vomit, right?
and vomit was the other. You're correct. Here's your magical experience, guys.
Alohomora.
Alohomora. Anybody have wands?
No, we forgot them in the car.
Unless
you want to do it, you were gonna.
Okay. All right, you guys, point your wand. You guys get your fingers out. We have to help too. We have to help too. Don't forget to swish and flick on the count of 3. It's Alohomora, guys. Dead loud. We won't get out. 1,
of the red columns, look for your name behind me on the wall. Tap it once and then go look. Look high, look low. Look high, look low, look left, look right. There are 2 walls, full names. Tap your bracelet.
Samantha, I found you. At first, my name did not pop up on the map, so I had to go back and tap the golden snitch symbol again, and then it ended up showing up. My wristband was a little bit too tight, so I had to loosen the little strap on it so that it could read the snitch code on the back of my wristband. Oh, it's up there!
This is where we test to see if you program your bracelet properly. All right, folks, move right here. Look that way. Mischief, that is.
So we are leaving the Marauders Map and heading into the exhibit now. Oh, it's all the portraits. Some of the portraits did actually move very subtly. You had to kind of sit there and stare at them for a while in order to see what they did, but you could tell which ones moved and which ones didn't. And here is the entrance to Gryffindor. Right over where Sam is like a little looking thing that shows all the boys in their dormitory. Here we are heading to our houses. Now this was a great spot to take selfie pictures or have your friend take a picture of you wearing the sorting hat. We ended up doing it because we saw other people doing it. And we thought it was a good idea. So like they said, things that are behind glass most likely are from the movie. Although I don't see a plaque on this one saying it's officially anything. So then this room led into 4 separate rooms that had props from each house from the movies, or there was in Slytherin one from the play. In this room, there was a interactive touch spot here where you could get information about your house that you had already pre-selected earlier in the day, and then you got a picture with you wearing the sorting hat. The funny part about it was that, like taking your picture at the beginning, it was kind of hard to line yourself up to the camera in order to get a good picture.
All right, I gotta move this way.
Yep.
Does that look good? Mm-hmm. I think it's as good as that camera gives.
10 points to Ravenclaw. All right, we're gonna go to Slytherin first, so we're gonna get the big ones out of the way. Sam and I are more at the side houses. Every house had certain characters that they focused on, and then obviously with the Slytherin one, Malfoy and Bellatrix were the ones that they focused on. So they had Bellatrix's wand, and then they also had Malfoy's wand and costume as well. This is one of her wands that they used. Actually, she is pretty, like you wouldn't think that she's short, but she is really short. Here's me. I mean, there's like a platform down here, but she's tiny. Draco Malfoy's costume. His wand. Very sleek looking. And this is some of the costumes they had for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is not something I ever seen because it's never really come to my knowledge anywhere close to like where I live. Every house also had a large poster that talked about the founder of that house and any famous wizards or witches that belonged to that house, which was kind of cool to read. I can always put something on my Instagram if people are interested in reading those. Up next, we decided to do Gryffindor. Naturally, the three characters that they focused on were Hermione, Ron, and Harry. So what the plaque is kind of saying, as they got older, they were able to reduce and not have such strict clothes when they were wearing them. So one of the costume designers actually liked dressing Ron because his shirt was always unbuttoned or undone, and it was very loose. You know, she could kind of have fun with it. He wasn't so proper. And then here is the Sword of Gryffindor. Actually, I'm trying to get it to show up here, but it actually does say Godric Gryffindor on it. The Sword of Gryffindor is set with a ruby on its pommel and guard. The grip features image of Godric Gryffindor. We're heading into Sam's house now. Hufflepuff.
Sam's house gets really cool wallpaper.
I did find it kind of funny that there was a section of Hufflepuff themed wallpaper for whatever reason. It's almost as if they were missing a section of the exhibit right there. The two people that they focused on were Tonks, and they focused on Cedric Diggory from the Hufflepuff house. Alright, so Cedric's wand is the one with the little notches in it. And Tonks's wand is actually pretty cool looking. And isn't this Justin Finchley or something like that?
I think it's just a Hufflepuff suit.
No, he was in the movies. Isn't he the one that Harry accidentally sent the snake on? He's like, what are you at, Potter? The last house we went to was Ravenclaw, which is actually my house. I did spend the most time in there because I literally read every single plaque and poster that they had in there. The two characters they had there were Cho Chang and Luna Lovegood. Luna is my favorite character. I also loved that they had a copy of the Quibbler in there along with her glasses. Apparently Moaning Myrtle was also a Ravenclaw. You know, I think I knew that though, because I remember when she was in the bathroom. Yeah, she was wearing her robes, so. Speaking of student robes, they also had a Ravenclaw uniform there. So now we are off to the Great Hall. Oh my God. All the houses are represented up at the tops. Ravenclaw, Slytherin. Poor little Hufflepuff is shoved in a corner, Sam. Poor little Hufflepuff stuck in a corner. The scenery changed from Halloween to Christmas time to the house banners and then some floating spirits kind of flying around. Are those the ghosts? We spent a lot of time in this area just kind of soaking up the ambiance of everything and pretending like we were there in a way. So in the original movie, they tried to use real candles, and the flames were burning the wires that they were sitting on, so stuff would fall down while they were trying to film it. So then they eventually CGI'd them into the movie. Although I'm surprised they wouldn't do something like this.
They might not have been out yet.
And one of my favorite Hogwarts teachers here is represented with her costume. Loved her hat. Oh, that's cool. So Maggie Smith had a lot of input into her costume when they were designing it. So the tartan plaids were throughout the wardrobe, and a Celtic symbol in the buttons. Oh wow, I didn't even, like when you watch movies, you don't even realize the detail of it. So like, kind of like here's the buttons, like a Celtic knot, and then going into like some of the detail of the pattern within her costume. Kind of has nods to Scotland in it. And then here's kind of a concept idea for her costume. All right, next we are heading into, I have a feeling we're gonna get to do some magic in the wand section. Oh, even the floor has like different spells. This looks like a number 5. This one looks fun. It's like swirly. In the next part of this exhibit, I wish they would have changed the lighting a little bit because I was very excited to see all the wands and stuff, but they had this off like blue lighting, so you couldn't really see the wands inside the case very well. And this wasn't just because I was shooting with a camera, it was hard to physically see it with my own eyes. A fun fact that I did learn, though, was all the wands that they had in the exhibit made up the logo for the Wizarding World. So when you see the Wizarding World logo, it's all sorts of different wands and kind of an arch shape in between a book cover. And every wand that was represented was one of those wands. The other part that I found was kind of cool was next to the wand that was on display, they also had a like huge not more than life-size wand, I would say, next to it. And I didn't even notice that until my friend Sam had pointed it out to me, so that's kind of funny. I'm kind of curious like how many wands they went through in filming of each person's style wand. And here is Dumbledore's. Tap your wristband to the golden snitch. Yay, that's me. Touch to begin. Cast a spell. I've got Queenie's wand. I trace over the symbol to cast the spell. Wingardium Leviosa. One criticism I did have is every interactive element, they really only let you do one time. So if you kind of screwed up on it, or if you wanted to do a different spell or potion, you weren't given the option to because they only give you one chance to do it. All right, so we are heading to fence against the dark arts. Defense against the dark arts. Boggart. A Boggart is a shape-shifting creature that will assume the form of whatever most frightens the person it encounters. That'd be a strange sound. Trace the symbol and cast your spell. Ooh. Let's do it again. Ridiculous. It's kind of amazing, like what they all went through to like create these costumes and really look at the character and, you know, why their costume would look a certain way. So good old Gilderoy Lockhart, apparently a Ravenclaw alumni. Just kind of found that out today. These were actual books that were used on screen that were probably in pictures from his office. And then look how snazzy his outfit is. It's got like little silverness to it and it's kind of shiny and sleek. Even the inside part, look at how detailed they got with that. Now we're off to potions. Look how cool this room looks. So I love like they made it all shiny over here. They have obviously Professor Snape's wardrobe. Wow, this is loud in here. So another cool element of this is you get to do a magical potion. So these are some of the ones that you can end up doing. And then it comes with an actual potion pot and all of these different potion bottles that light up when you do the experience. Love potion, Skelligro, Polyjuice potion, Felix Felicius. I'm gonna go with Polyjuice potion. Look at the potion to find the clues in the ingredients. Wow, they don't really give you a lot of time. Alright, so leeches, the flies, and knot grass. And the infamous Advanced Potion Making book. And here's Professor Slughorn's outfit. And the infamous Snape's. This actually looks like so lightweight, which gave him that like flowy kind of look, you know, in the movie. I don't think these were film used because they're not behind glass, but just like look at how much detail that they got with like all of the stuff just within it to make it look like Bat's spleen, and even just the labels on it. Very cool. Ooh, it looks like we get to do another spell. True happiness is like finding the something. Yay. I didn't get to read all that. I really liked the decoration within this room. Although Sirius Black did not show up in the fireplace in divination, it was a cool effect to see just like a nod to it in here. But the way that they had this set up was really, really neat. It's the Grim. This is pretty cool that they actually had the cup here. And like, look at how much detail just went into the saucer for like the few, you know, seconds that this was on the film. So cool. So this one definitely sounds like a fun room. It's herbology. And they actually have the mandrakes here. Fun fact that was on the sign about herbology is that the mandrakes there were 50 of them made for the movie. They were controlled with animatronic remote controls under the table, and some of them were actually even able to be pulled out all the way and still move their little arms and legs and mouths. And then they even made one to bite Malfoy's finger. Well, that was kind of a cool fact. Repot the mandrake in front of you.
I don't know if that one works.
So we were here the second to last day the exhibition was open, and I feel the mandrakes were pulled one too many times and only a few of them worked. After herbology, we are just heading to Hogwarts and the Triwizard Tournament. From the movie, they had the Triwizard Cup and they had the egg from the first challenge. Here's all of their outfits from the Triwizard Tournament as they were competing. At the end of the Triwizard section, they had another interactive element where you can Do the spell Expecto Patronum, and your Patronus will show up. Up next is the Forbidden Forest, which led into Hagrid's hut. Now, this is the part where it started to get really busy. I feel there were a lot of selfie or photo opportunity spots that they started kind of clustering together. Once we especially got to the Ministry of Magic, that got even worse. So lines would form, people were being rude and kind of cutting into other people's spaces. One thing I do wish that the people who created this experience did was kind of spread those things out, but I know they were trying to follow somewhat of a storyline, so I get why that didn't happen. The main thing I would say is put your patient pants on, but at the same time, people also need to be considerate and notice when a line is forming and not be completely oblivious to that sort of thing. From Hagrid's hut, we headed down to the Quidditch pitch. It's the Nimbus 2000. Until Malfoy. Oh no, it's the Nimbus 2001.
Yeah.
That was Malfoy's.
Yes.
Filming Quidditch was a grueling experience for the actors at first, straddling brooms while being suspended individually in a green screen walled room. Advances soon came to both comfort and technology, although uniforms had substantial protection for the brutal game. It wasn't until Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, that foot pedals and individual molded bicycle seats were added to the brooms hidden under the robes, and padding was built into the pants of the uniforms. After looking at all of the props from the films, I decided to try my own hand at Quidditch.
How's that going for you there, buddy? No.
Needless to say, I'm not quitting my day job in order to join the U.S. Quidditch team.
That's a no.
The Wizarding World. Whoa. The next part of the exhibit, we delve more into the practical side of the Wizarding World. Touch the port key. Here you were able to travel across the world with a port key. They also had a time turner from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I was gonna say, this isn't the time turner that Hermione had. This is from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And then this is a giant one that Hermione had. 3 turns should do it. It took Sam and I a few times to figure out why it turned green when we walked through the doors like this, but it ended up being that we were traveling with flu powder. The next section we went into was all about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. There was this really fun photo op where it looked like you were kind of going through Newt's suitcase. Oh, look at something's trying to come out. Although that's not the case. Naturally, they also had a copy of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them that was used in the films. Now we're heading into Newt's case. Ministry and some of the costumes from Fantastic Beasts. There's Credence's costume. And then you have Tina's. Now we are heading into the Ministry of Magic. So we're now in the Ministry of Magic. Once we entered the Ministry Magic, there was so much to look at, but on top of that, there were so many really great picture spots that they had. They had the telephone booth to enter, they had Umbridge's office, it even led into the cupboard under the stairs for Harry, and it led into the entrance for the Chamber of Secrets. It does actually play music when you hold it to your ear. One of the coolest parts of this is the fact that they have Umbridge's office here. All the little pink kitty cats. All the things on her desk. They even had Mad-Eye Moody's eyeball on the door to her office. The next part of the exhibit was Harry's old bedroom, the cupboard under the stairs. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So some of the things in here would have been screen used if they're behind glass. That is pretty neat. Even his glasses are in here. The little toy soldiers. The next part took us into the dark arts, but first we had to stop and take a look at the Black family tree. Where is Sirius? Sirius is right here. Burnt out. Regulus is dead. How come Bellatrix's picture isn't in it? Here's Tonks's mom. A lot of costume. Well, he was a very theatrical person, so it makes sense that his costume would have been theatrical like that. Along with Voldemort's robes were some of the things that he desired the most and his most coveted treasures that he owned. And then here's the wand. And then here's the invisibility cloak, which I find that quite hilarious.
Yes. It's not something missing.
I was like, somebody stole something out of here.
That's all I'm at over here.
Just read all of the plaques, okay? Along with the resurrection stone that was technically in Marvolo Gaunt's ring, the other Horcruxes were present. They had Ravenclaw's diadem, which actually I thought the gem in it was a little bit bluer in the movie, but it must have been a lighter color in real life. Helga Hufflepuff's cup was also there, and it had the actual like stab wound in it from during the film when they actually did it. Salazar Slytherin's locket was there, as well as Tom Riddle's diary. And then here is the first one that kind of started it all. I don't know if Dumbledore knew how to defeat Voldemort until Harry killed the diary, basically. The last Horcrux there actually was very camouflaged against the wall. I didn't even notice it until Sam pointed it out. But they had a print of Nagini slithering on the floor and up the wall. Light and dark. Battle of Hogwarts. Here's some of the Death Eater masks in a costume. This by far was one of the coolest shots that they had. It was kind of like us dueling against each other in the final scenes of the last movie. And these are some of their final costumes from the actual Battle of Hogwarts. Like the detail they put in just like fraying the clothes. Oh, look at, they almost have their hands touching. Oh, that's so cute. Neville saves the day.
In a sweater vest.
In a sweater vest. True Neville style. And then one of the last scenes of the movie, Elvis's robes. You know, they actually didn't have any other Elvis's robes in this. This is the only one that they've had in the entire exhibit. And Harry. Okay, just want to point out, just when you think you've done it all, there's even more stuff. We are in Dumbledore's office.
Oh, I'm like all the way in the corner.
So usually what they're saying is anything behind glass has been kind of screen used. Look at all the detail that went into just these little jars that were in Dumbledore's office. On both sides there's like multiple shelves of them. Okay, I do want to just get a little bit upset here about this, okay? Although Ravenclaw is in second place, thank you very much.
I just want to point out, Hufflepuff is in third, and Slytherin is last. It's never gonna happen again.
So do you just want to go over some of the merch that's available for this event? They do sell the full-size robes. Now, these robes are a little lighter feeling than the ones that I actually got at Universal Studios. It could be the way that they're making them now, though. Versus what it was like. I bought my robes like one of the first years that the Harry Potter was open. And then they have like a really fuzzy blanket that you can get. They have some water bottles, coffee mugs. This is actually pretty cool. This is like a Christmas ornament. In some of the areas, they actually even have backpacks. Apparently the Ravenclaw backpacks were gone. But they do have some like Hufflepuff ones. Hufflepuff even has some like scarves and stuff too.
Yeah, but we don't have any blankets left.
But they don't have any blankets. Which it might depend on wherever this heads when it comes back to the United States, if it does. And they had some like theme specific from Atlanta merch, along with like a little tote bag. I could actually get it open. Yeah. And they have it in white too, and then they have a bunch of different shirts as well. There's no way that I could possibly show everything that they had in this store. There was actually quite a bit. I was a little surprised at how much they did have, but I will show you like a little sampling of some of the things that were available. Anything off the trolley, dears? There was a small cafe that had Harry Potter themed treats and drinks. We didn't get anything to eat because the savory items weren't anything that interested us, and we weren't in the mood for sweets. Although the desserts did have some really fun theming to go along with them and the theme of the exhibition, the chocolates that were themed after the house were kind of cool looking but seemed a little expensive, so we decided between those or drinks, and drinks won out. I got the pumpkin patch, which was peach juice, pumpkin puree, pumpkin spice, vanilla with a mint garnish. I added dark rum to my drink. It ended up tasting like autumn in a cup. I love anything pumpkin, so pumpkin spice and pumpkin flavor hit the spot for me. It tasted like an adult version of the pumpkin juice that you can get in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Universal Studios. The dry ice also made it look like I was brewing a potion. Sam got the Cloak of Invisibility, which was lemon juice, simple syrup, club soda, vodka with dry ice fog. She said her drink was delicious, very light and refreshing, perfect for the end of the day, and the dry ice added an element of magic. Okay, so thoughts on this experience. It was pretty amazing that the actual screen used props were physically here. Anything that was in a glass case or behind a glass window what meant that it was part of a screen use thing, and usually had like a little plaque on the bottom. Some of it I wish it had like a few more details as to like what it came from necessarily and all of that.
Because we needed to spend 7 hours here instead.
Our time to arrive was from 10:30 to 11. It is what time right now?
3:01.
So, but we are extreme Harry Potter fans. We spent a lot of time in multiple places, and I guess I was a little surprised at how much was here. It's like towards the end when I was starting to get a little done with just people being here, which is another subject I'm going to talk about in just a second. It was like another room, another room, another room, and I wasn't expecting that, and I actually really enjoyed that they had so much here for us to experience. The advice I would give you is, so this may, as rumored, so this is actually leaving here from Atlanta. Today is the second to last day, as I kind of said at the beginning of this video.
Vienna's already set up. They have a different setup.
Oh, they have a completely different?
Vienna, I think, is already done.
Okay. I thought this was going to Vienna. And then it might be touring around Europe for a little bit, but rumor has it that it might be coming to New York City. If it does, it's something that we might consider going to, if we can afford to do it, and then going to like the Harry Potter store, because
I'd rather spend 7 hours.
I don't have 7 hours worth of money to physically spend there, let's just put it that way. So we got here at 10:30. When we got here at 10:30, it really wasn't that busy. I felt like we weren't as crowded. There was a couple little like clustery areas that we were hitting, but like if we waited 5 minutes before they like let the next group go through, there would be enough of a reprieve for us to get like the pictures we wanted. I could start telling when things were starting to turn like 1 o'clock-ish. Literally right behind where we're filming this right now, where the dining area is, there's a huge line just to get into the exhibit. So my suggestion would be to, if it does come back to the United States, or you're watching this from another country and this exhibit is coming, go to the earlier time slot if you can. If you can go, like this event, I believe was Monday through like all 7 days of the week. If you can do it, and you're trying to go more so as an adult, necessarily not a person who has a child who has school. But if you can do it, I would go during the week, because I have a feeling it's probably not as crowded. What got frustrating to me, and I had my patient pants on, but what got frustrating to me is there'd be lines that kind of like naturally queue up with people, and you get in those lines in order to get a picture for, say, like Umbridge's office, or doing some of the stuff at the houses, which I felt that area wasn't as cluttered as like.
Those people were really nice, and I think it was because it was so early in the morning. By the time, like when you're in with the houses, and you can tell that there's the lull because like you're still figuring out what you're doing. By the time you get to the end where all of the photo ops are in one
so like
location,
Umbridge's office, the telephone booth, the Newt's suitcase, the snake door from the Chamber of Secrets, like all of that stuff they put literally Harry Potter's room from the very first movie under the staircase. Okay, all of that stuff they put at the very end of this, and then it's like. There are people who, and I wouldn't be that parent, but there are people who don't watch their kids, and their kids just like cut straight in front of you, and then they start like, oh, taking pictures and skipping you. And like I said, I put my patient pants on with it, but it was starting to get a little excessive at the end. And so like I would just like to say, if you are a parent coming, like kind of keep an eye on your kids. Don't ruin the experience for somebody else as well who is just as much of a Harry Potter fan as your child is I guess kind of what I'm saying. You know, blast me in the comments if you're gonna yell at me about it, but I have 2 small kids, and I would have been yelling at them if they did some of the stuff that other people were doing to us. So be aware of your surroundings, be nice, be patient. That's all I can ask for.
I will have to say, earlier in the day, like when we first got here and we were first going through, I thought that it would have been good to have the girls here, and I love them to death. But by the end, I would have been really done with them, because they aren't in love with Harry Potter yet. So to sit there and like take it all in, they wouldn't have the patience for it. Ariel would have a little bit more of it. Charlotte would have been done 4 hours ago.
So, just keep that in mind. I mean, it's different. If your family is a huge Harry Potter fan, and we did see families that were like really, really excited about every little thing.
Or like the
But-
kid was way more excited than the parents because the parents hadn't seen more than like 3 movies, but the child had seen like 6.
They were obviously taking their kid here. But I guess that was just like one of the main factors that frustrated me, especially towards the end. It does get busier throughout the day. They start letting more people in closer together, and you're trying to get pictures of things that you really want to see or read all of the little plaques of all the information. So try to be patient, but also be aware of your surroundings, to not cut people off just because you think you see something cool. It'll still be there in 5 minutes when you want to look at it again, you know. So with that being said, I would do this experience again for sure. It sucks that it was a 12-hour drive and that this is the last weekend that it's going to be here for a while, but like I said, if it were to ever come to like Chicago or somewhere close like Minnesota to us, we would do it again, I feel. The storefront, with this being one of the last days of it, had a lot of merchandise left. There were things I know that you wanted, but I wasn't expecting anything specific. So I guess if you have any comments below or have any questions about the event, shoot them in below. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. It was fun to make it. It was fun to come here and experience this event. And I would recommend it if it does come back to the United States in your area or something like it. Oh, I guess one other thing I would have to say is, you know, people might ask below, like, how much time do you think you would need in this experience?
Triple.
If you are a huge Harry Potter fan like we are,
Triple it.
come in the morning, and then you literally have all day to like experience it as slowly as you want to experience it. There were some people though that were chugging through this event, you know, so I think it truly depends on the level, I would say. So we were here, so 10, 30, 11, 30, 12, 30, 1, 30, 2, 30, 3, 30, so we were here for like 4.5 hours. I think on average it might be like a 2 to 3 hour thing if you're like a decent Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, we spent some time in the shop.
Yeah. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I really do appreciate it if you made it all the way to the end. If you did, or if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my standings in the algorithm of YouTube. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next adventure. Bye.